This is ChunkYanille. I spent 1,000 hours completing every possible task in Yanille. Since then, I've spent another 1,000 exploring the world one chunk at a time. That was until I rolled a death chunk. For the last 7 months, I've been locked here, trying to find any way to complete the near impossible tasks in my path. With the odds stacked against me, escaping this chunk will be the hardest thing I've ever had to do in this game. Hello and welcome back to the Death Chunk grind. It's been over half a year since my one chunk at a time journey across Runescape came to a screeching halt. I've been stuck grinding in one area for over 1,000 hours, but hopefully that's all about to change. This is probably the most excited I've been at the start of an episode in a very long time, maybe even ever, at least since leaving Yanille. Only one task separates me from my freedom, and I have never been more prepared to dive into a grind than I am right now, even despite the fact that this is by far the most brutal, time-consuming challenge I've ever attempted. I need to get a draconic visage from a level 227 black dragon, a monster with incredibly high health and combat stats that can hit up to 50 damage, and the item I need is a 1 in 10,000 drop. But having spent many months here, with all the stuff I've already achieved, the insane tasks that have already been checked off, I know that we can do this. And like I said, I'm more prepared than ever. I spent the last 200 hours gearing up to take these things on. Now I've got a much stronger bow that can fire powerful arrows up to rune. I got the max level in the range skill for maximum DPS, and it came with a cape that has the unique ability to automatically retrieve my ammo. Basically, I've done everything I possibly can to optimize myself for this particular grind, so it's time to see if all that work was worth it. I actually haven't tested my new and improved ranging capabilities yet, so you're seeing it live for the first time along with me. But if my calculations are correct, this should save a ton of time on each kill. Back when I started here, it took me 10 minutes to kill just one of these things, and I managed to get that time down to about 5 minutes, but I'm really excited to see how fast this is gonna be now. And when you're killing tens of thousands of the same monster, kill speed is really the thing that matters the most. All right, rune arrows, let's see what kind of hits you got for me. A 17, oh yes, wait, that's so good. 18, yep, that's sick. Oh man, this is amazing. Okay, that was absolutely much faster, but I was actually too caught up in the hits to pay attention to how long that took, so let me go check the footage. Okay, just went back and looked. That kill took 90 seconds. I don't think I need to do any fun Yanille math to explain why that is such a big change for this grind. Oh, that is crazy. That is so good. Turns out rune arrows are pretty powerful, huh? Yep, I think this grind is gonna be a lot of fun. All right, well, there's only one thing to do now if I'm gonna get that visage. Let's do it. Let's befriend these dragons and become a dragon rider. Wait, what? Did I just say? Sorry, I got confused. I meant let's kill these dragons. We're killing them, fighting them, defeating. Sorry, I got mixed up because I've been listening to the Songs of Chaos audiobook series by author and longtime RuneScaper Michael R. Miller, and just so happens to be the sponsor of this video. The story follows a guy who, well, he's just a normal guy. There's no prophecy, he's not the chosen one. He's just some dude who goes against the expectations of society and decides to save a blind dragon from certain death. They were never meant to be heroes, but together they discover secrets that can change the world forever. If you grew up reading Aragon, Songs of Chaos captures that same magic. You can find all 3 books on Audible, which are narrated by Peter Kenny, who's the same guy that narrated the Witcher series. Audible is also amazing value, with 1 credit getting you 18 hours of content, and if you get into the series, there's almost 70 hours of listening between the 3 books. It's also the perfect time to get into it because the 4th book, Reckoning, comes out September 15th. Like I said, the author is a RuneScaper, and if we've learned anything about RuneScape players, it's that they're kind of obsessed with making cool stuff. So next time you're on a long grind and you run out of YouTube videos to watch, head to the link below to start listening to Songs of Chaos on Audible. Or if you prefer, it's also available on ebook, Kindle, paperback, and hardback. Thanks again to Songs of Chaos for sponsoring the video. Now, back to the grind. Like I was saying, 90 seconds to kill a dragon is genuinely such a game changer for this grind. Before, we were looking at nearly 1,000 hours to reach the 10,000 kill drop rate for the Draconic Visage, but now we're more in the ballpark of 200 to 300 hours. Still a lot, but the difference is astounding. And so much of the change is these, the rune arrows. They increase my max hit with ranged to 20, where before it was 10 to 12. Since my accuracy on these dragons is super low and I don't hit that often, being able to actually hit big numbers when a shot does land massively increases my DPS. And in the past, I had a huge issue with my arrows despawning, but with the ranged skill capes perk that retrieves my ammo, that's no longer much of an issue. Though if you look right now, you may be confused to see that there are still some arrows on the ground, so I think I should explain how this cape actually works. When wearing the ranged skill cape, shooting an arrow has 3 different outcomes. 1, I have a 72% chance to retrieve the arrow. Basically, it just stays in my quiver and acts like it was never fired in the first place. 2, there's a 20% chance that the arrow breaks and is gone forever. This is just how ranged ammo works in this game. There's no way around it, even with the cape. And that leaves an 8% chance that an arrow falls on the ground. This would be a bigger issue, but with the faster kill speeds, I should be able to pick up any arrows that end up on the ground before they despawn. That said, I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this as I don't want to be losing any more arrows than I need to. Anyway, the main takeaway here, and the much more problematic one, is that I'm gonna be losing about 20% of the arrows I use every kill regardless of what happens. So I will eventually burn through all these arrows, just much slower. And that's a bit of a scary thought since they're the crux of why this grind is so much better now. However, allow me to direct your attention to my secret weapon, the archery tickets. I got these as a result of my unorthodox range training method last episode, the target practice minigame at the Ranging Guild. By the time I got 99 range there, I had a stack of over 800,000 tickets, and I turned some into raw GP, stacking up 5 mil in the bank, while the rest I'm gonna exchange for rune arrows to fuel this grind. That said, this many tickets probably won't take us all the way to 10,000 kills, so I guess we're hoping to get lucky before that. But for now, I'm just gonna lean back and enjoy the fruits of my labor. These fast kills still feel so good after spending upwards of 100 hours just to get my first 1,000 kills, which is where we're starting this grind, by the way. Throughout the half a year I've spent locked here, I was periodically killing the dragons and slowly racked up my first 1,000, but that number should shoot up starting now. Yo, 67 nature runes? We've barely been at this for an hour and we're already hitting the rare drop table. You may remember me talking about this a few episodes ago. The black dragons are unique in my chunks in that they're the only monster with access to the true rare drop table, which, as its name suggests, has a lot of cool rare drops on it. What's kind of ironic is that in my first 1,000 kills, I already got the Dragon Spear, the rarest and best item on the table. But as we're going to be killing a lot of these things, I've actually put together a rare drop table dream list. These are the items that would be the best for my account. After the Dragon Spear, the next rarest and most impactful thing I could get would be a 1 in 8,000 Dragon Med Helm. It's a solid defensive upgrade, but above all else, this thing is just so iconic. It would be a badge of honor to show just how long I was at this grind. And just below it, the 1 in 8,000 Rune Kite Shield would also be a nice upgrade, though I actually already got lucky on the Rune Square Shield, so it's less of a big deal. Below that, I really want a Rune Two-Hander. It's not really useful for much because of its super slow attack speed, but it hits hard, and there are some niche situations where a very slow, hard-hitting weapon is just what you want. The rest of the dream list is just resources, none of which are going to be game-changing, but they're all nice to see. More nature runes, death runes, dragon stones, silver ore. There's even a drop of rune arrows on the table for a nice little restock. Any of those would be great drops. But there is one super rare item that I don't really want to see. It's the 1 in 15,000 shield left half. What happened to the other half? Well, I can only get it by doing a quest that I will never do, and since this is rarer than the Visage itself, seeing this would mean that I've essentially spent all of my RNG in the wrong place, because we all know that's how it really works, right? If I do get it, it's essentially just another useless rare item to add to my collection. Oh, what do you know? There's some rare drop table death runes already. Alright, a little update here. Good news is the kills are so much faster. We've already killed almost 200 dragons, which before would take me days, maybe even a week of really slow dragon kills. The bad news is that I am already out of rune arrows entirely, so while I don't lose as many, they definitely still go quickly. I'm not sure how long I expected 2,000 rune arrows to last me, but I guess it wasn't that little. It's barely even been 2 days. I really just blew through them. But at the same time, I blew through a lot of dragon kills, so I guess everything is just happening faster now, which is overall a good thing for sure. So I guess I need to pick up some more. Last time I got 2,000. This time, I think we're going for 5,000. Let's see how fast I go through these. We only have 2 more withdrawals of 5,000 rune arrows, and those tickets are gonna go very quickly. Okay, rare drop table. Little 42 rune arrow drop. Little nice restock. That's good. Shout out to that. Oh, is that a back-to-back rune longsword drop I see? These things are actually really good. They're the most valuable item off of the regular drop table from the Black Dragons, and every one of these that drops is like 20k directly into the bank account. Okay, so you might be wondering why I am poisoned and at 1 HP. Valid question. But to explain that, I want to quickly walk you through what an average trip getting to the dragons looks like. Starting at the bank, I grab out a strange fruit. Remember this as it'll come back in a sec. Then I run all the way to the Wizards Guild, take the portal to Taverley, and run to the dungeon. Here there are 2 agility shortcuts that I can use to get to the dragons. The pipe, which requires 70 agility and is the longer route, and this other one, which requires 80 agility. I only have 75 agility, so I use the pipe, which means I have to run all the way around this way, and then, the important part, past these poison spiders. To say that these things are annoying would be an understatement. If they land a hit, they are guaranteed to poison you, which lasts for over 5 minutes and does a ton of damage. When I first saw that these were going to be a part of the grind, I figured I'd just be able to avoid them, but that's basically impossible. The corridors here are way too narrow. You basically have to run through them. And that's why I bring the strange fruit. It cures me if I do get poisoned. However, there's a pretty significant problem with strange fruit. I can only get these from random events, which means my supply is very, very limited. So I've been testing out what would happen if I just let the poison run its course, and it looks like I can survive, but just barely. But what that does mean is I can stop bringing strange fruit with me and save myself an inventory space, which is important because, of course, I'm banking the dragon hides and whatever loot I get. So I do this run every 15 to 20 kills. Anyway, since we're gonna be doing this for a while, I figure you may as well know exactly what this grind is like down to the minor inconveniences. The only way I'm getting through this is by knowing that you too are watching this video and suffering with me. Speaking of which, thank you for that. Your guys' continued support of the channel and of the series is so much appreciated and keeps me motivated on these absurd grinds. Especially big shout out to my channel members and Patreon supporters who help make it possible for me to be a full-time creator. If you want to support the channel for free though, I've nearly reached my dream of 100,000 subscribers and that YouTube play button. It would mean so much to me if you hit that subscribe button to help me achieve that goal. Thanks. You love to see a 69. There is 69 prayer. That's very good. Actually, prayer is really nice to be getting a couple of levels in right now. One thing I didn't mention in that overview is that I've been using prayer more consistently down here too. Back before the upgrades, trips took so long that I'd run out of prayer points even if I used only the lowest level prayers, but nowadays I can keep the 5% range boost prayer on the whole time, no problem. 5% doesn't sound like much, but it's actually a big deal. It raises my max hit by 1 and makes me a little more accurate on the dragons. This prayer alone makes the kills about 10% faster, so being able to keep it on until I fill up my inventory is amazing. Then I just bank and restore my prayer, rinse and repeat. Actually, the way I restore my prayer is kind of funny. I don't have an easy to access altar, so instead, when I'm done with the trip, I minigame teleport to Castle Wars, run into the portal, and then immediately leave, and conveniently that restores your prayer just like an altar. Certified chunk man pro tip for you there. Dang it. Ugh. I knew that was gonna happen. I'm just sort of constantly on low HP now that I'm not curing the poison, and I mean, it's pretty easy to not take damage since I'm safe spotting the dragons, but it's also easy to just run to the danger zone and get bonked for like 10 damage and die. Thankfully, death isn't too big a deal, it's basically just a time penalty. It takes me a few minutes to run back and pick up my stuff, but it definitely doesn't feel good, and anytime not killing dragons is time wasted. Yo, that is awesome, dude. 90 hit points. I don't know why, but hit points levels make me feel so accomplished in this game. Like, really shows how long you've been playing, how committed you are. Hit points just level so slowly. And 90, oh, that's so clean. Could have used some more hit points a little second ago. Okay, we're gonna loot this carefully. Carefully. Yes. No, no, no. Damn it. Well, folks, believe it or not, it's time to grab another set of rune arrows. Those 5,000 I picked up are already gone. I know it may seem like I'm blowing through these really fast, but the kills are also racking up. We're over halfway to the next 1,000 kills. The first time I did that took me months, but this time it looks like it's only gonna be about a week, assuming I can keep the rune arrows flowing. As long as we don't run out of those, we can keep up this quick pace. Just to put the rate I'm going through my resources into perspective, let me hit you with a bit of fun dragon math. While I was going through these last few hundred kills, I was trying to pay attention to how many arrows an average kill would take. There's a lot of variance kill to kill, but the number I came up with was between 12 and 15. However, we can get a lot more accurate than that. Recently, they added this cool built-in button that leads you right to a DPS calculator. I've used this tool a lot to understand kill speeds and compare situations. You can enter in your gear and the monster you're fighting, so it's super handy. I want to use this to figure out how many arrows I should mathematically expect to be losing per dragon. The important number to look at here is the expected hit. This takes into account your average damage and your chance to hit. Since I miss a lot, my average shots are only worth 3.4 damage. Using that, we can find the average number of shots per kill. I'll divide the dragon's health, 190, by my expected hit of 3.4. But last episode, I talked about how dragons regenerate health extra fast, so I'll round that up to 200. The math here says that each dragon should take about 60 shots to kill. And we know that the range cape, while useful, doesn't stop the natural 20% chance to lose an arrow. And 20% of 60 is 12, the number I had come up with originally. So zooming back into where we were just at, the 7,000 arrows I've already shot should have racked up around 600 kills if each shot took just 12 arrows. I'm guessing I probably let a few despawn accidentally, but it's still pretty close to the expected number. Though what this also means is that my archery tickets aren't gonna get me anywhere close to the expected number of kills I'll need. This batch of 5,000 that I'm picking up right now is only gonna get me another 400 to 500 kills. That means that we either need to get really lucky, or we're gonna have to look into some less favorable options for getting arrows. Hello, okay, yep. Oh, that is so good. First rare drop table dream item checked off the list. The rune two-hander. Oh, that is so sick. Definitely a nichely useful item, but something I'm very, very glad to have in my arsenal for the future. That's really satisfying to see. And still extremely, extremely rare. Really happy I got this. And now, please enjoy my fiance's impression of me recording a RuneScape clip. Lamp goes on crafting. Level 50 crafting.
Hell yeah. Level 50 crafting. Let's go. That's what I have to say.
So I had an idea to speed up my run to the dragons. Remember earlier when I said there were 2 agility shortcuts? The pipe that I've been using makes you run all the way around this way, but this one is pretty much a direct shot to the dragon. Problem is it requires 80 agility and I only have 75, but for all my ChunkYanille scholars out there, you may remember that I had to jump this shortcut for a chunk task many moons ago. Back then I used a summer pie, which gives a temporary 5 agility level boost just to jump it once, but I realized it would probably be worth making more pies to use every single run. So that's why I'm out here switching up my farming to get more ingredients. I'm planting strawberries and watermelons. First harvest is in and I've got some pies here ready for cooking. Hopefully this goes well. Please don't burn these. They're pretty precious. Okay, off to a great start. Okay, honestly, that ended up being very good. Summer pies are actually so amazing. They heal a ton, give that agility boost, and they even restore some run energy, so it's some of the best food I can make. And here's the big moment, the big time save. We get to chomp on this pie and jump over this little agility obstacle right here. Ooh. We get to skip right to the dragons. You'd love to see it. Saves a good probably 30 seconds every trip, which is not nothing when we're doing hundreds of these. Sad moment here, the last 5,000 arrows are gone and still no draconic visage. The reality of this grind is setting in. I came into this with a lot of hope and excitement. 600,000 archery tickets sounded like a lot on paper, especially since it took me over 100 hours to farm them, but even with the range cape, I'm still going through them so fast. With that last batch, the kill count reached just over 2,000, and I'm about to spend my final tickets here. And after these are gone, the 5 mil in the bank is my last resort. And I would really not like to go broke on this grind, but it's starting to seem inevitable. And one thing I've talked about in the past is the value of the drops of the dragons. You might be sitting there hopeful that the items I get from these kills could actually refund the cost of the arrows. And yeah, back when I was using steel and mithril arrows, I was actually able to break even on arrow costs. The raw GP the dragons drop, along with the occasional rune longsword or adamant plate body, brought the average return per dragon to something like 600 or 700 GP. But with rune, that only covers the cost of a couple of arrows. If I don't get lucky and I have to dig into the cash stack, I sadly can't rely on drops to carry me forever in this grind. And just as a bonus, another thing from the dragon's drop table that had my hopes up was the poison darts they drop. Not for money, but for damage. Poison is super helpful on long kills to add some passive damage over time, and I was hoping that with the ranged cape I could actually put these to use. But it turns out that the darts the dragons drop are super weak. I looked into it, and for some reason, poison range weapons do significantly less total damage than poison melee weapons, which honestly makes no sense. But the poison from these darts only adds 7 damage over a minute or two. Definitely not worth working into my efficient dragon slaying setup. Honestly, very disappointed about that. But anyway, that's no reason to give up hope, just mildly annoying. I'm ready to head right back down to the dragons and keep grinding. Wait, did I just see what I think I just saw? Was that guy picking wheat? What is this guy doing? Who is this guy? Oh, I think he noticed me. He doesn't want me to know about his wheat picking strategy. But literally, what was that? I need to know. Dude, I'm harvesting these watermelons to make those summer pies, and this is making me realize just how slow my farming XP has been to this point. I'm still working towards that goal of 82 so I can finally plant a torstal, but I swear I'm getting like 10 times the XP per harvest from watermelons than what I was doing before, which was like sweet corn and tomatoes. Whoopsie daisy. That was 70 prayer and another combat level. 70 prayer, that's a nice little milestone. Am I reaching for things to care about at this point? Absolutely. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, we're good. Don't worry about it.
Give me your best words of wisdom.
Do what makes you happy, not what makes others happy.
That's beautiful.
See?
Come on, you're out.
That's
What are you doing
an
there?
example of how quick you can get out, Josh.
I can't pay attention. I'm busy doing the greatest quiz show on Gillinor.
Yeah, you're back. I bet you don't even know the answer.
Dude, no way. It's the helmet. It's the helmet. It's the helmet. There you go. You picked mystery box. Congrats on your cabbage, my man.
Wait, if you get a mithril scimitar from this mystery box, you're back in.
You're back out.
You're back out.
You were out of the group. You were out of the group.
That's a good drop. That's a good drop.
This guy stole your black dragons, bro.
Read a random IP address right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Random IP and a zip code.
I hope he logs out or some shit. Oh my god, he logged!
He logged.
He just
He
logged.
Oh my god.
Dude.
He will never fuck with you again.
Gotta love to see a strange plant growing down here. Getting a little refund for all the strange fruits that I've been going through. Yeah, I kind of gave up on the whole die to poison strategy because I kept dying to poison. A very limited supply of those. Wait, where'd my bow go? What the hell? What is wrong with this freaking game? Well, I knew this moment was coming. 179 rune arrows left, not even quite enough for one last trip. And we do not have the Visage yet, unfortunately. We currently have not quite 2,800 dragon kills. I'll throw the current loot up on the screen right now. Did actually a couple of extra kills with some non-rune arrows. Had to get some editing done and just went through all of my lower tier arrows. But unfortunately, this does mean that we're gonna have to dip into the cash stack. It's okay though, this is why we stocked up GP. It's what it's for after all. It was really nice using the archery tickets, but they're all gone, so now we have to move on to the far more annoying and expensive option of buying arrows from the shop in the Range Guild. And while rune arrows are extremely powerful, they're also extremely expensive. The shop sells them for 400 GP each. Honestly, a complete scam in any other situation, but now it's our only option. Although I do have a little plan that should save quite a bit of money here. If you take a look at what's at the top of my inventory here as we approach the range guild, you might be able to tell what my plan is. Got some arrow shafts and some feathers, and rather than buying straight up rune arrows, which cost an insane amount, I can instead buy rune arrow tips, which only cost 200 coins each, and fletch them myself. It should only take a little bit longer, and I get a little bit of free fletching XP out of it, so guess it's time to do quite a bit of world hopping. The plan is to just hop worlds and buy 10 arrow tips at a time, since they get more expensive each one you buy.
One eternity later.
And we will buy 1, 2, 3, there we go. 12,883 rune arrow tips, the exact number of feathers I have. That's just a completely random number. It's how many I had in the bank from just other stuff. Pretty much half of my money is gone from that. And oh my god, that was so boring. It actually took me so long to do because I just couldn't stand world hopping, buying 10 at a time, but there we go, we've got them now. And there we go, almost 13,000 rune arrows ready to go. This should be at least 1,000 kills, if not more. IRL-wise, it's actually been quite a while since I've been back down here, been doing some editing, so I'm excited to get back to the dragon kills. Just noticed we crossed the 3,000 kills mark. That looks good to see. We're coming up pretty quickly on 5,000 kills, the halfway point to the 1 in 10,000 drop rate. Last time I was doing an insane grind like this, I got the smoldering stone at almost exactly half the rate, so hopefully we can just do that again. Another rune arrow drop off the rare drop table. Always good, but I am still missing a couple of items I really want. I mean, they are super rare, but come on, deserve a little treat. Gotta love a book of knowledge for another crafting level. Thank you very much. 51 crafting. What is happening? Why am I here? How did this happen? I clicked Birthart Game Room? That must have been next to it. That was bound to happen eventually, I suppose. Thankfully I have this one Ring of Dueling on me. Jeez. I'll make sure I don't misclick there too. Did somebody say 71 prayer? No? Nobody said that? Well, I could have sworn I heard someone saying, like, just, did somebody say 91 hit points? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna keep doing that. That wasn't funny the first time. No way? Wait a minute. Oh, that is so, no. That is so evil. Oh, he got me good. Yet another drop of rune arrows. That's actually good because I'm actually almost out here yet again. Goes by so fast. Got a couple more kills to get lucky, but I have a feeling we're gonna be faced with some big problems coming up here soon. And yep, that's that. Been a couple of weeks, and we're down to our last 8 rune arrows out of the 12,000 we got. So many kills, and yet no visage still. To be fair, it is to be expected. We're still not even quite at 4,000 kills here. But also, 4,000 kills is still so many. This has taken an incredible amount of time already. There have been countless long nights that you just don't see. Honestly, when I started this episode, I was so hopeful that I'd have enough resources to keep going until I got lucky. It seemed like I had so much to start. But after burning through tens of thousands of arrows, I now realize that I've been gambling with my resources in a big way. Rune arrows are amazing, but they come at such a high cost. After using the archery tickets, I got so used to their fast kill speed that it just seemed natural to stick to rune, but there are less risky options. Adamant arrows cost 5 times less than rune, but they would also lower my DPS by 30%. Mathematically, that would have been much more sustainable, but I didn't want that. I wanted to go fast. I've had to work so hard to get here, so I've been gambling stability for speed, and it looks like that might be catching up to me soon. Now I've got half my starting cash left to spend, and it's time to decide how we're gonna spend it. Keep gambling on rune arrows, or play it safe with adamant. I know my money will go much further with cheaper arrows, but I didn't get 99 ranged and a U short bow for nothing. I refuse to do anything but kill these things at maximum efficiency. Rune arrows all the way. This is RuneScape after all. Let's roll the dice. We've got 2.5 mil and a dream. I believe in this. But first, we need to kill some chickens. No, for real. I used up all my feathers in the bank. This is the only way for me to get more to make arrows. And it's 100% worth it since each feather saves me 200 GP. Chickens drop them 5 at a time, so you could almost think of this like I'm making 1K each chicken, which would be insane money by my standards. Last time I was able to afford about 12,000 arrow tips, and I spent about half my money, so I'm just gonna gather another 12,000 feathers, and that should get me there. Plus, it's a kind of a nice round number because, as the math showed us earlier, 12,000 arrows should be about another 1,000 kills. 6,000 feathers, we are halfway there. It's taken a couple of hours for sure. Definitely not the fastest grind.
Thousands of chickens later.
Just about done here, almost at my 12,000 feathers. It's gonna be just over 2,000 chickens killed. But the next step is going to absolutely drain my bank account, and I'm really not looking forward to that. A side benefit of killing these chickens over here is that I've been able to do a couple of farm runs, and we are super duper close to their farming level. Definitely the fastest one I've gotten in a long time. Actually, harvesting some higher level crops has been really, really nice. All right, second half of my cash stack, here we go. Oh man, this is gonna be rough, but let's do it. Let the world hops begin. Take a look at my inventory and you will see we are over halfway there on the world hops. It is such a slow and tedious process, so I just came over here to do a farm run. And we've got 74 farming. Very nice. The obligatory 1 farming level per video. And the cash stack is literally under 100k. 48k left. That is disgusting. Oh my god. That is actually so sad. All that money, all that time building up the cash stack, dude. And now it's almost all gone. These better count. That's all I'm saying. 12,000 arrows, restocked, ready to go. Let's kill some dragons. Let's get back to it. Please, let this be the badge that gets me the visage. This is basically my final gamble, so it's either now or never. Let's play a game. It's called the AFK game. How many hits does it take for Josh to look over and notice he's standing in the wrong place? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm stupid. No, dude, no. That is the wrong rare item. Oh my god. Ugh. Why couldn't that have been the visage? If that was the visage, we'd be done right now. It's even more rare. And it's useless. Oh, I'm actually so annoyed. I know I shouldn't actually be annoyed, but I am so annoyed by that. 1 in 15,000. There goes my RNG. On a bit of a brighter note, this is a genuinely massive moment in the history of this account for me. These are my last 4 Crandorian seeds. You haven't seen much of this, but I've been harvesting these every other trip to the dragons this whole time. I started with, I don't know how many, I think it was maybe 1,500, 1,600. I'll find the footage from back when I did all my pickpocketing. But there we go, that's the end of the Crandorian hops. I guess that tells you just how many runs I've done so far. And the grand total is 6,500 Crandorian hops. Bizarre number of what is essentially a useless item. I mean, I'm never going to use them for anything, but it is funny to have them all. But now I get to plant wild blood seeds, which are really good XP. It's time for the AFK game round 2. How many hits will it take this time? Oh my god, how did I not die there? That was so lucky. Yep, there's another one of those. Another 1 in a couple thousand, whatever it is. Getting rare drops, just not the right rare drops. There is currently a steel med helm in my inventory, and I did not put it there. I'm gonna give you Runescape detectives 3 seconds to figure out how it got there. Let's see if you can figure it out. 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is my cape put it there. If you got that, I am extremely impressed. But for the rest of you who need an explanation, I've got a fun, ranging cape fact for you. The cape technically shares its perks with Ava's devices, which are magically magnetic backpacks, attracting metal objects like your arrows. That's the lore reason why it retrieves your ammo. It uses a magnet to pick them up. But to stay in the magnet theme, the cape also just randomly generates metal junk into your inventory every now and then. It's why I'm always carrying around like 1 to 2 steel arrows for seemingly no reason. They're by far the most common thing that the cape generates. Now on to the weird part. This is the table of items that can be generated and their odds, and as you can see, the steel med helm has a 1 in 2,000 chance to appear. I guess it's just my curse to get weirdly lucky on everything but the thing I need. A bonus fun fact here is that the toy mouse it can generate is actually a super obscure way to train agility. I don't know what weird restricted account can use that information, but if you can, more power to you. Professionally clicking through a professional 72 prayer in a professional YouTuber type of way, please hold your applause. Do keep in mind that I'm getting about 2,000 prayer XP an hour here, so when you see these, just a little bit of time has passed. Yep, we've been at this for quite a while, almost halfway through my arrows. Oh, actually, more than halfway through my arrows. Wow, these things go by so fast. Been trying to be more cautious with spending them. I even put a little timer on them to see if they were gonna despawn, just to really conserve as much ammo as possible.
In fact, this is a great example right here. This kill's been going a little extra long, and I wouldn't have been able to tell that this stack of arrows was close to despawning, so instead, with this timer, I get to grab it, pick up the arrows, and I probably saved myself 3 or 4 arrows there, which is honestly kind of a lot in the long run.
It's definitely caused me to go on a couple more arrow rescue missions than I would have in the past. Because, I mean, 1 arrow is like 200 GP. That's like a full dragon kill. I mean, look, that's what the dragon dropped, and an arrow is that or more. So it's definitely worth it. Rare drop table rune 2H number 3. Woo! Okay, that's a first. 100 silver ore off of the rare drop table. Definitely something I was looking for, not for any particular reason, but just because this is an item, a resource that I have never had before. I don't think I can do anything with it, but first time on the account, who knows, I might be able to do something with this in the future. We'll just add that right to the ore tab. Very nice, but honestly very strange to have that in there. Well, my friends, we have reached that point yet again. Down to my last trip of rune arrows. Only 100 or so left. We either get lucky right here, or this may be the turning point in this grind. Either way, we are going to need a miracle to get out of this one. There they go. 2 rune arrows left. 12,000 becomes 2. Man, it's crazy how that happens. I'll throw the loot tracker on screen, but the sad part is that we didn't even get to that halfway point. 4,900 kills, 100 short of at least getting halfway. And of course, no visage. This has already taken me almost 200 hours when you include time for banking and the return trip. And remember, this is the version optimized for speed. But yeah, I suppose it's safe to say that the rune arrow gamble did not pay off, as we are now out of arrows and out of money. I'm gonna have to seriously consider what this means for the future of this grind, but while I think about that, I actually just remembered there's something I can do in Yanille, which might be a super obscure last minute Hail Mary. I really don't think so, but I mean, you never know, so let's go give it a shot. For the first time since I started here, this is something I actually unlocked last episode when I got myself a lamped crafting level. My crafting is now 51, but a couple levels ago, I unlocked the ability to start a quest in Yanille. This quest right here, talking to Bert. This guy Bert here found a hand in the sand, and could I help him out? Do I want to start this quest? Yes, I do. I would love to start this quest, and I would love to finish it, although I know already that that's not possible. It's a very important quest for Yanille. Check it out. Start a new quest, the hand in the sand, and I've got myself a sandy hand. There's just a couple of steps I can complete in this quest. I think the next one is talking to this guard captain. One kind of fun thing for me is that these NPCs have been in my area for literally over 2 years, and they've never really had any use to me. I've been waiting a long time to give this beer to the guard captain. Not even looking at me. Bro, what is he doing? There's no way he's good for the city, man. Tells us that we should probably go talk to a wizard about it, so we'll go do that. Guard captain asked me to see if you have any missing wizards. That's silly. No one would kill a wizard, would they? Personally, I mean, I would never kill a wizard or anywhere close to, I don't know, say 14,257 of them. I would not do that, personally. This is so fun, man. Running around, talking to people in Yanille, getting dialogue I've never gotten before. Honestly, anything that isn't Black Dragons feels very fresh right now. Here's a copy of me. Dude, I can't say any of that. I'm not even gonna try it. So yeah, the quest leads me to Sandy in Brimhaven, which is many chunks away, right over here. Don't know how or when I will get to that, but if I do, I can at least progress the quest further. But yeah, this quest unfortunately takes you all over the world, and there are just so many chunks that I would need to unlock to complete it, so who knows if or when that will ever happen. Of course, the reason that this is a problem isn't that the Hand in the Sand really is all that impactful of a quest on its own. The issue is that it is required to trade this guy. He can't trust me with his supplies until I've completed this quest. As you can see here, you must have completed the Hand in the Sand to use the guild shop. This comes up a lot in the comments. People don't know that you can't buy runes from the Wizards Guild without completing this quest. And as you can see, I have to go all over the world to complete it. So yeah, I don't have any way to buy runes. It's one of the reasons why I haven't tried magic as a way to kill the Black Dragons. It would actually be a great way to do it. Somewhat recently, Black Dragons got updated to have a weakness to water spells, so they take extra damage, and water spells have extra accuracy on them, which would mean that if I could buy runes here, that would probably be one of the better ways to do this grind. But yeah, unfortunately, this guy, he's not gonna let me buy runes from him. I actually was kind of hoping that just starting the quest, maybe there was some bug or something that would let me access the rune store without actually having completed it. Maybe some oversight. I mean, I don't know how many people try that to start the quest and before completing it trade this guy. I mean, that was my one Hail Mary, but yeah, I didn't really expect that to work. Wait, no, actually, I do have one more option. This is really scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point, but talking about buying runes reminded me that I do actually have some runes in the bank. I have no consistent way to replenish them, so I haven't really considered using them, but that's just sort of a chunk man mentality, and I'm at the end of my rope here, so what do I have to lose? At the very least, I don't want to end this 100 kills away from that halfway point. And I mean, it's just as likely that the Visage is somewhere in those next 100 kills as it is at any other point in the grind, so I say we go for it. One thing I am really excited about is that I finally have a use for my super sick magic setup that I've put together over the last 2 years. Full Mystic, an actually useful staff, and the trimmed Amulet of Magic? You can't tell me that's not the sickest thing for a one chunk man to have. I've never actually had a reason to put this gear on until now, and maybe this will be what I need to change my luck. Unfortunately, I don't have very many water runes, so the only spell that really makes sense to cast is Water Bolt. It's actually quite strong though with the dragon's water weakness, and I'm genuinely curious to see if it's faster or slower than my range setup for some hypothetical scenario in which I could buy runes. Hopefully this makes all the commenters who recommended magic happy. At the very least, we're doing it for science. Not gonna lie, it feels really weird running around in different clothes, and I mean, it's more than a little bit goofy to be wearing the ranged cape along with my magic setup, but it is my best cape. I've just looked the same making this run so many times for so long. Anything different feels actually really weird. This should be interesting though, not having to pick up any arrows at all might feel kind of nice. Should probably actually pick a spell, huh? Water Bolt, and let's do this. Throw on a little magic prayer. Let's see how these kill times are. Yep, that was pretty fast. That actually was basically the exact same amount of time as the range setup. It's kind of sad. 99 range, rune arrows, the same as chaos runes and water bolt. Might be asking why I didn't try this sooner, but the answer is, even with these runes we have right here, I don't expect this to be more than maybe 100 or so kills. As fast as it is, it's really resource intensive, and I don't have an easy way to regain these runes. I gathered these over, I mean, literally years of playing this account. 8,000 water runes, so they're gonna go quick. Gotta say, my favorite thing about all this is getting to use this Staff of Air I got from a clue. Probably one of my favorite clue items ever, and I still haven't gotten to use it, so it feels really good to be saving some runes here. Just picked up some blood runes, and it is unfortunately extremely not profitable to use Water Wave. 7 water runes per cast. That does not break down favorably, but I do want to cast it a couple times. With the boosted max hit from the water weakness, this could hit incredibly high. Come on, just show me a big hit. I'm wasting water runes. I just want to see something big. 23. All right, you know what? We'll take that. That might be the highest number I've ever hit on this account. I think it is. There we go, first inventory done. Honestly, pretty quick all in all. But if you look at the runes, you can see that we used over 1,000 of the water runes that I have. And like I was just saying, those are the water runes I've collected over multiple years of playing this account. They're just not a renewable resource, which is why I've never tried this path before. But I mean, what do we have to lose at this point? Oh yeah. It's been so long since I've gotten a level while killing these things. 70 magic. That's actually pretty sweet. My last combat stat in the 70s. Shout out to getting XP. Obviously, I don't show every single trip, but since these ones are all costing me a ton of runes, feels a little bit appropriate. That's another trip of magic, no visage. And here it is, kill number 5,000. Exactly half the drop rate and still no visage. I think I'm going to save the rest of my runes and just give up on this for now. I'm not backing out of getting the visage, but I need to go back to the drawing board. I'm gonna do my best to figure out how to continue this grind, but that is a question for another time. I'll be honest with you guys, I really wanted there to be an epic ending to this episode, and I genuinely tried so hard. Night after night, I have been sitting there, waiting, hoping, praying to see that visage drop, that notification to pop up and let me know that it's finally over. But when you're at the whim of RNG, you can't always control the story you tell. This is a tough episode to recap. The last month or two of playtime can be summed up in the loot tracker you're looking at right now. That's all I have to show from it, and honestly, it doesn't add up to much. Even the rare drop table under-delivered. It gave us a bunch of rune two-handers and some resources, but I didn't get any of the other drops I was excited about, minus the incredibly cursed shield left half. It's crazy what this grind has cost so far. All my resources, my money, my arrows, my runes, my time. And the truth is, I'm nowhere closer to being done than when I started. I'll admit, I've been a bit reckless, but I just wanted to see a visage more than anything. It's that light at the end of the tunnel that keeps me going. I can see it, but it's just out of reach. Though, if there's one thing I've learned after everything I've been through, the smoldering stone, the yew shortbow, even the fishing trawler, playing a one chunk man has taught me that there is always another way forward. I'm just gonna have to find it. I'm absolutely not done here. In fact, it feels like I'm only getting started. Make sure you're subscribed because we will get that visage, and I hope you'll be there when we do. But until next time, bye-bye.